Michigan had been hit hard by the Great Recession, and hundreds of millions of dollars in green stimulus money was arriving. Now, to do their part for the new green economy, General Motors introduced a new line of electric vehicles. When the Chevy Volt was ready for release, I attended their press conference.
So these electric vehicles are ready for public consumption, and we're ready with the infrastructure, with the rates, with the communications.
I am extremely grateful to be here today, and in fact, this is a chance for me to say thank you more formally. The Chevy Volt is upstairs. We'll be able to take a look at it. We've got about 1,000 photos.
Yeah.
Is it plugged? It's as simple as that.
The batteries are in the trunk?
No, the battery in this particular design is a T shape right down the center and across the back seat area. Because everybody thought we killed the electric vehicle. No, we didn't. It's alive and well.
So what's charging the batteries right now? What's the source of
Well, here, it's coming from the building.
I mean, is it, what's our mix of power?
Oh, actually, Lansing feeds the building.
What's that?
Lansing feeds power to the building. So I don't know. I bet you they're a bit of coal. They're heavy on natural gas, aren't they?
Right now the car is charging off of your grid.
Right. It would be charging off our grid, which is about 95% coal.
How long do you think it'll be before there's a solar and wind powered grid?
Oh, golly.
To suggest that all of the power used for these cars will be generated from wind and solar in the very near future would not be correct. In fact, we're talking about charging these up at night, so there won't be any solar at that time. So we're down to wind, and very often at night the wind does fall off. So
I don't think coal is bad. The what?
Big battle. Mountain top removal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got lovely BTUs. It's got lovely
Very
energy
dense,
value.
Yeah.
How do you burn it more cleanly? I mean, do you see natural gas getting bashed?
well, we will be delivering power based on natural gas very shortly. And even with that mix, we intend to use biofuels if we can.
The environmental groups are extremely supportive.
We did install the state's largest solar array at my company, the Board of Water and Light. It's just down the street from here, a few miles, if you want to take a look at it. What outfit are you with?
New World Media, we're doing a segment on the renewable energy.
Oh, excuse me, I gotta go for a second, but thanks.
I decided to take him up on his offer to check out their football field-sized solar array right down the street.
What we're trying to do with this kind of a tour is get a sense for what they've already done as an indication of what we could do to push the envelope even further.
We took a hard look at wind and determined that, around here there's not any real good wind coming through all the time. That's what we liked about solar. You would get the power when you most needed it. Pass these around, look at them. They are pliable. Made in Michigan, that was another good thing. Although the efficiency of these panels is only about just under 8%. If you happen to be NASA and you happen to own a rover running around Mars, they have very efficient panels. But we can't afford those at about $1 million a square inch.
How many homes would this array provide electricity?
The standard answer that we tell everybody is we're providing enough to meet the peak requirements of 50 homes. However, for most of the people that look at it a little bit closer, we generate about 64,000 kilowatt hours a year. Our average customer uses about 6,000 kilowatt hours a year. 6,000 into 64 is just a little over 10. We can meet the energy requirements for 10 homes over a year.
Will that be an incentive to put more solar on?
Well, if you wanted to make all of the energy required for the city of Lansing over a year,
Well, how about...
you'd have a solar array that was 3 miles by 5 miles.
Right, but...
We're not going to do that.
But I mean, what would...
My friend from the Sierra Club wanted him to be more positive, but he was not interested. As a consequence of the big push for green energy, wind farms were rising around the nation, including near my home in northern Michigan.
We've done coal and nuclear for years. We've been trying to get in more into the renewable side. These are the largest just in Michigan, I think it's 482 foot total.
How many yards of concrete?
There's 800 yards of concrete in the base, right around 140 tons of free steel.
What are those blades made out of?
That's all fiberglass and balsam. They're about 36,000 pounds apiece. This tower will weigh 800,000 pounds when we're done. Then the cell is 220,000 pounds, and hub and rotor assembly is another 160. It's pretty substantial.
They were impressive machines. But is it possible for machines made by industrial civilization to save us from industrial civilization? In environmental leader Bill McKibben's home state of Vermont, the Green Mountain State, a site was being cleared for the installation of wind turbines. A group of citizens was concerned about how the construction might affect the mountains they love. I joined them for a tour.
It's going to be 21 turbines.
21.
Yeah.
On this
In this project. Yeah. The estimate was maybe there would be 3 full-time jobs.
If the goal is to try to make Vermont the leader in climate change, I appreciate looking to the sky in the hopes that we can do that. But more importantly, I'm personally looking at the ground thinking this is not the kind of legacy I'd want to leave to my kids. When I was a kid, we'd go hiking in these woods. We would be able to drink from the waters down the hill here, and now you have to question that. And how long are these towers supposed to last?
20-something years.
I know, it's just...
Oh, wait a minute. You're
It's a
kidding me.
nanosecond.
20 years?
Oh, it's a nanosecond in the time of energy.
Does anybody consider that this is mountaintop removal for wind instead of coal?
Yeah, and we've even had people say if you can do mountaintop removal in Kentucky and West Virginia for coal, then it's about time that the rest of the country shared in the mountaintop removal too.
Hello. I think they're going to tell us to move in.
The thing is you've got to have a fossil fuel power plant backing it up and idling 100% of the time. Because if you cycle up or cycle down as the demand on the wind comes through, then you actually generate a bigger carbon footprint than if you just ran it straight.
Do you ever go to things where they just go, well, that's not true, it doesn't matter, we're going to have the smart grid?
It doesn't make any difference. They still got to have it idling, because let's just say the wind stopped right now. Just stopped for an hour. You've got to have that power.
What do you do?
I'm a environmental health and safety consultant. I usually work with businesses to help them do things, but I would never work with scum like this.
You didn't get me on camera doing this, did you? Not being judgmental or trying to play God, but we've got to deal with population growth and sustainable resources. We've all got to cut back. All this energy is supposedly going to heat a water park. We can find unique and different ways to waste energy. This is not a Vermont company. I mean, Green Mountain Power will be bought out by Gas Metro, and Gas Metro is owned by Enbridge, as I understand it, which is a big company, resource company in Canada, which is exploiting the tar sands, that wants to build the XL pipeline. See,
they're all in bed together.
And still we don't know the whole story.
Have you asked Mr. McKibben to come see this?
He thinks anything renewable is good.
Yeah.
So that's what I've heard people say.
This is... I'm in a strange position. I'm against our addiction to fossil fuels and have long been a fan of green energy. But everywhere I encountered green energy, it wasn't what it seemed.